Hello, hello, Sagittarius. This is going to be your September new moon reading. This will be for September 28th. And I'm going to draw one of these cards here to just get an overall energy for you. See kind of what's going on with you. I'm going to have the October readings rolling out really shortly after these, so definitely keep an eye out for those. Because even though we have this energy currently with the new moon coming up, it's falling right there around October. So those two readings might really just kind of play on each other a little bit further. Hope y'all have had a good September. Man, it went by fast, huh? All right, we have Between Worlds. Now, what I really like about this card here for you, Sagittarius, is it's like you have one foot in reality and you have one foot in fantasy. And that is a really balanced approach to life, right? I always feel like that's just the best way to be, is because we can be between worlds. But for some of you, this could be between experiences. So maybe finishing off an old part of yourself, an old cycle, and moving forward, okay, into a totally new world, totally new something. So this can mean a lot of different things for a lot of different Sagittarius out there watching. Let's get some tarot cards and get a little bit more information. Now we're getting ready, or we just actually yesterday, today's the 22nd of September when I'm recording these, and yesterday we went into Libra season. So you're going to feel that shift. You know, we're all going to feel that shift, every single sign, not just Sagittarius. But we feel that mostly in our like marriage and partnership sectors. So that can be friends. That can definitely be the lovers. That can be work. However that applies, right? Different for everybody. Ooh, you got the Tower. I love that. That could be that between worlds for sure. So let's see what your underlying energy is. Okay. It looks like you may be having an option, or some could say it's a dilemma around the new moon time. And the reason that is a dilemma potentially is because we have two truths here. Now, sometimes when we have two truths, they kind of conflict or they don't really mesh. And when we have a new truth and an old truth, it's kind of hard to determine which one's which and which one we need to roll with moving forward. So the message of this card, as you can see, she's blind. The message of this card is to feel, use your intuition, that inner guidance, that inner voice that knows, it knows already where you need to go and what you feel right now. So that's why she's blind, is because you don't need to see which sword you're choosing. You need to feel which sword you're choosing. And whenever we see the moon in a card, that's that intuition. That's saying trust. Trust that you're being guided. Trust that you're being protected. So that's your underlying energy for this. And you can see here that definitely it looks like you're having decisions. Let's start here. And this between worlds, you know, maybe you're having to choose two different worlds. Because when we have the Seven of Swords coming up, that's the path. That's a mental path. And it's really choosing what's worth it on our path. As you can see, he's like, yeah, I'm feeling pretty friggin' amazing. I got all these swords. Looks like he's feeling like he's rich or he's gotten away with something, right? And he's even considering stopping and grabbing these other two swords, which, you know, he could really hurt himself grabbing these extra swords. It's just a lot. It's a lot to carry. So a lot of the times this is us recognizing, you know, what's worth it? Is it worth it to stop and grab that, or is it worth it to just keep going? Maybe you need to drop some even. So some kind of option or choices here when we're dealing with our path. And this figure has 7 swords, and the 5 is where he was taking everybody's swords, if you were to look at the 5 of Swords card. So it's almost like you've gained all these victories and you've gone through all these things, Sagittarius. Is it still worth it to keep going down the same path, or are you ready to choose a different world? You know, this between worlds is like you are in between an old part of yourself and moving forward, recognizing that not everything stays the same. You know, that's the only thing that does stay the same is change. Now the Emperor comes through here, and that's a 4. So that's realizing. That's, you know, realizing many things about yourself, realizing your total kingdom, the rule that you have, recognizing that there's life and that there's destiny. Okay, we have life of the Ankh, and then he's got this world here and the sphere, which usually is like that destiny. Now, with this Emperor, this is knowing how to rule, knowing that he's ready to fight at any time, knowing that he doesn't have to fight if he doesn't want to. Okay, this is this total balance of power and control. Total balance of realization. He realizes everything. You know, he doesn't just rule one kingdom like this guy here, King of Swords. He rules all of them. Okay, so in order to do that, you have to be pretty balanced. You have to be pretty confident. You have to be humble. You have to be truthful. There's so many things that come with being the Emperor, right? It's a lot of responsibility. And you may be feeling that draw. You may be feeling that need. As a fire sign, this is you. You know, this is your true calling. This is what Sagittarius really feels, is that fire. And with this mental energy kind of tripping you up, you know, this is a mental path here. This is recognizing and realizing where your thoughts are getting you. So as you move between worlds around this new moon, you know, something starts for you. A new moon is always a gift. It's a new opportunity. It's a new chance. So a lot of the times you utilizing it, recognizing that you can move forward. Because staying and looking backward is not going to serve you. You can already see by the feeling of this card as he turns around to look at his spilt cups how devastated he is. Okay, this figure is very not happy, not feeling good. So whatever you maybe lost even around that full moon time, you know, some things culminated, some things came together, some doors shut, some things ended. Yeah, take a moment. Grieve, recognize, so that you can do that healing work, but you can't forget to move forward because we have this Two of Cups here. And the Two of Cups is that choice to really move forward. That choice to recognize that things happen, and however we're going to perceive it is how we move forward. So if you're able to do that healing and recognize that, you know, these cups were meant to spill anyways, and what you have left is what you need to work with, that's really going to serve you, Sagittarius. You're taking that Emperor attitude. The Emperor would never let a couple cups spilt slow his roll, right? The Emperor would never stop and grab two swords because he knows that balance. So if you're doing these two kind of things to yourself, Sagittarius, this Emperor card right here in the middle of it is there to tell you, hey, back it up, recognize who you are, Sagittarius. You're a powerful fire sign. Powerful fire signs, we don't mess around with these spilt cups. These are your emotions, things that hurt you possibly, things that, you know, are sad in your life, things that you really didn't have control over. Okay? This is your mental thoughts. You do have control over your thoughts. So recognizing what you have control over as the Emperor of your own world, you know, this is you and what you can be and the energy you can adopt right now to really help you get through these two energies, which can be kind of rough, okay? Not gonna lie. Now we've got the King of Swords coming out here, which absolutely this truth, right? You have that one truth. Look how it falls right here with this one. So these cards really played off of this between worlds. This one's definitely hanging on to that truth aspect. He has one truth that he moves forward with to rule his kingdom. He uses his mind, his communication, his word, and his rule to get everything he needs for his kingdom because he knows that those few things can definitely manifest in abundance for him as long as he's remaining in his truth and standing in his own power. This is recognizing the power that you have. Look at these two figures. They're very much powered. Now this is definitely an air sign energy, and mixed with fire and air definitely just grows a bigger fire. So when you are able to make that decision, whatever it may be, and it's going to be different for every Sagittarius watching, whatever decision that you're struggling with, once you can use your intuition and recognize that, you know, whichever one you choose, you're right either way because it's your decision and it's your life and it's your truth. You know, when you have your own truth and you can honor your truth, much easier to rule, much easier to make decisions. And especially with this Tower moment coming through, you're going to be, you know, faced, or maybe you've already experienced this Tower, with an unexpected moment. Now, this doesn't have to be life altering in the way that this picture depicts. It could be simply a belief that just crumbles because you've been proven wrong. Or it could be a relationship that was so toxic that it had to go away in order for you to be happy. Right? There's so many different situations. A burnt out job that really wasn't your passion. You know, it shuts down or something. You get the opportunity to recognize you have no control. You know, when you have this control over your life, there's still things that come up in our lives that we have to recognize it wasn't our control. Okay? We have some control, but we don't have a lot. And this unexpected thing that you have no control over is shutting down and rejecting whatever it is for you so that you can rebuild. You know, a lot of time we get rejected to be protected. You know, it's that saying that we all seem to come up with when we're feeling that, because it's so real. A lot of the times things don't come through for us because they're not for us, or it's not the right time necessarily. It doesn't always have to be like no, never. It's like not right now though. You know, so something crumbled or is going to, you know, crumble for you. It could be a different array of things for each Sagittarius watching. Let's get some clarifying cards and see if we can figure this out. Now, I have a sweepstakes giveaway that I have announced, and it actually starts today, so that's super cool. And there's a little video at the end of this video that will link you there to the sweepstakes, and even I think I have something in the details for this that I wrote out already. So, and I'll remember to do that. I'll put those in the details. So if you want to get it, I am giving away a tarot deck, brand new. I accidentally bought two. That's what happens when you're shopping on Amazon and you love things. You add them to your cart twice. That's how you get two things, apparently. So I'm going to give away one of the decks that I bought. I unboxed the other one that I bought in the video at the end of this video. So check it out. It's pretty cool. I think that, you know, with all this mental energy you have going on in the Emperor and the King, it's like you're adopting this masculine action energy, or you need to. You know, something that's going to help you get out of the between worlds and from one into the other. Now, sometimes being between worlds does serve us, right? Like, we can do that. We can stay 1 foot in one and 1 foot in the other and really maintain balance. But at some point, we need to really move forward and recognize that there is more beyond this picture. That's for sure. I don't read cards in reverse, if you're wondering why I flipped that over. Okay. Now we have Seven of Swords here with King of Cups. And to me, the way that these two kind of mesh with each other, right? This is energy and feeling. The King of Cups is always going to know that he has intense emotions, and he's always going to rule with emotions, but he's not going to let it be the only thing that he uses for his contrast on decisions. And let me break that down a little bit easier to understand. He's not always going to let his emotions run and be the leader of the pack, okay? He does keep that balance. All kings have a balance, and that's why they're kings. They do have a specialty, however, which is an emotion for this king. This king knows all about emotion. His emotion is so deep, it's water deep. Okay, that's why the ocean's back there. It's ocean deep, which is, you know, the most. So when you're going through these mental energies, I really feel like it's telling you to remember what really drives you and what you love. Now, you don't have to just love a person, right? You can love many things, but what do you love, Sagittarius? And why are you continuing on a path without love, if that's the case? And if you are feeling love and you're on this path, why would you stop for something else? You know, so there is some kind of a contradiction here. And I'm not sure what it is for you, Sagittarius, because it's going to be different. And this is a definite general energy reading. So something where it's like that greed maybe comes through, and you're not really using that heart. The king is always going to rule with feelings and understanding. Yet he's also going to recognize how there has to be, a real world too, where some things are painful. It's not all just happy joy feeling, love. Sometimes it's pain. Okay, sometimes it's fear. There's a lot of different emotions that the King of Cups understands. And when we get it with the 7 and it's talking about our path, I feel like it's asking you, Sagittarius, do you love the path that you're on? What kind of emotions surround what you're doing currently in your life? Does it feel good? It's the sevens always want to ask us if it's worth it. What's worth it? Is it worth it? Is it worth it because it feels right, or because you have to? Because there is no have to, I mean, yes, I guess some things are hard, and we do have some boundaries and some barriers. But a lot of times, we're not a tree. We can move. Now with the Emperor coming up here and the 4 as well, but of cups, so you have 2 4s here. That's realizing. So you're definitely realizing that the options in front of you are not really what you're into. You're realizing that the cup you want is not in front of you. The emotions that you want to have and the way that you want to feel isn't really there. You're not really feeling anything. It's almost like, the Emperor is a culminative of all these accumulative, let me say that right, cumulative of all these kings. You have the wands, you have the cup, you have the swords, you have the coins. And all these energies create this Emperor. And when the Emperor is feeling unbalanced, right, because he doesn't know what he wants, he's always going to rebalance immediately. He usually won't even get into a situation where he doesn't recognize cups. So this is a really interesting thing with you having these cups falling here, 3 cups falling over, and 3 cups you don't even want. So it's almost like you asked for these cups to just go away. And when they went away, you're like, what? Wait a minute. And then you have the 7 coming up here, which is a path again, right? With your path, and it's your chariot. This is saying get your head and heart on point, Sagittarius. You need to get them going the same direction, because here's head and here's heart and here's your chariot. If you're trying to go forward, they need to be doing the same thing. Head and heart need to be going. If you can't get head and heart on the same path and they're going different directions, you can imagine what's going to happen to your chariot that's following behind or being pulled by them. It's going to break apart. And then you get tower moments, unexpected chaos. So it's it's funny to me, because I see where it feels like you're just not seeing maybe what you created, your own mind. And when you step between worlds, it's like we don't even see what we did. It's like we asked for this. Our mind creates what we see in the future, or what we experience. If you have a belief and a goal, it's always going to be the thing that molds and drives you. So that always comes from a thought. And I've definitely been there, Sagittarius. I've totally been in this like emotion where it's like, wow, I don't even like these 3 cups. Where's my cup? And it's like all the cups tip over and you're like, what? Wait a minute. No. Why do I only have 2 cups left? It's almost like a contradiction of self, because you don't realize how powerful you are. As a Sagittarius in that fire sign, you have that power. Check your path. Is it still working for you? Is your head and your heart in it? If your head and your heart aren't in it, then you're just self-sabotaging and wasting your own time. It's really about using that heart and recognizing this king knows that he has to have his head in check, that he can't just rule with his feelings. Everything would be messy. Okay? This king knows that he has to rule with his mouth and his truth and his mind and his communication. But if he only led with those things, there'd be no feeling. So he adopts feeling as well, and stability from the King of Coins. and then passion and excitement and action from the King of Wands. That's what makes up the Emperor. So, you know, when it comes back into this whole thing and recognizing that you have the intuition with your choice, here's that intuition again. It's saying, hey, don't fight the current. Let us help you and guide you. You know, your inner self knows. This again is that experience and intuition, knowing that you can trust. You don't need to know what's going on with the towers. That's divine stuff. You know, let the divine worry about the divine. You just worry about going with the flow and enjoying life, keeping your head and heart and doing what you know is best for you. Each Sagittarius, that'll be absolutely different, you know. We all know what our own success is, and only we can define that. Nobody else can define that for us. So when you can get that in check and stand in that truth, that decision is going to just really, boom, set you onto something awesome, because you're going to get a lot more options. And yeah, they may be confusing options, right? But I feel like when you have this truth, it rules out a lot of options. Once you're able to choose the truth, you know, you can rule out, and you're not going to be between worlds. It's like you have all these options that aren't good, and you know it. You know that some of these options just aren't going to serve you. So don't settle for them. The Emperor would never do that. And don't cry for spilt milk, right? That's kind of this card. Because anything that's, you know, tipped over or isn't for you or isn't available anymore, it's because it's a divine intervention type thing. It's that tower. It's the tower that says, hey, this, you know, you've done all you can do here. Let's move along. You need to trust your gut, Sagittarius, definitely around this new moon time, because I feel like it's really going to lead you and guide you into that Emperor feeling, get you back into that fire, that, you know, that spot where you truly do belong, because that is a fire sign. That is, you know, that. And Sagittarius's card is Temperance, which is always moderation. Balancing your worlds. Woo, my little thing fell over. So when you're going between these worlds, remember what it is that keeps head and heart in line. Trust your gut and go for it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please subscribe. It's definitely helping me spread my channel. If you haven't already subscribed, please do that. I'm pretty new still to YouTube. I've fixed my audio and my video, and I think I'm actually doing this now. Mixing my spiritual space with technology has been quite the feat, but I am finally able to do this. So I have the sweepstakes going. Check that out, and I will be posting for October. Please like this video if you do like it. Comment. I'll definitely try to comment back, you know, as long as it's appropriate comments. And thank you again so much for watching, and we'll see you soon. Take it easy, Sag.